Isn't it today's 12th? Okay. So in this clinical sense, we are going to discuss the three topics. One is HDTM, Adams, and Taylor's. Okay. So HDTM is nothing but standard data tabulation model. We also call them as study data tabulation model. Okay. Similarly, Adams is nothing but analysis data model. Okay. Tables, tables and listings. We're going to discuss. Okay. Total these three topics we're going to discuss. But before we are starting the HDTM first,
Recording in progress.
give me 1 second. The recording storage was full. 1 second. Fine. Able to see my screen? So we'll continue. So total three topics will be there: HDTM, SAD, and Taylor. Directly, I won't start an HDTM topic. Before that, we have to know few things, some terminologies. Actually, where these clinicals are started. Okay, what we exactly were going to do it. What are the teams was involved? What is our work? What are the terminologies we have to know? What are the documents we have to know? First, we'll discuss those things. Then we'll start it HDTM. Okay. So first we'll see from where this it was started. Okay. So everyone knows the medical companies. So these medical companies, they have a R&D department, research and development department. Agree? Now this research and development department, what they will do? They will develop some drug or a medicine or a vaccine. Let's assume they develop some drug or there's some medicine, some vaccine they developed. Once they're done, what they'll do? They'll start testing this drug. How they'll do the testing? They start the clinical trials. These clinical trials are first in the two stages. First is preclinical trials. Next is clinical trials. Okay. First, in the preclinical trials, they're going to test this drug on animals first. And animals, they'll test this drug. So they'll test and they'll see the results. The results are positive. Okay. Then only they'll start the clinical trials on humans. Okay. They're going to conduct the clinical trials. They're going to test this drug on humans. Okay. The clinical trials conducting on humans, it will be there in 4 phases. Okay, phase 1 clinical trial, phase 2 clinical trial, okay, phase 3, phase 4. So in a 4 phases, the clinical trial going to be happening. So what they'll do it in a phase 1. Okay, in a phase 1, they're going to test this drug or a medicine on a healthy people. So they'll consider some healthy people around 30 to 80 people. They'll consider and they'll give this drug to them. They're going to test this drug on those 30 to 80 people and they'll check how it is working. But in the phase 1, the major agenda the investigator for the doctors and all is the safety of the people. Safety the first priority for everyone. So they'll check the safetyness of the drug. Safety meaning. So there is no major side effects has to happen. There is not supposed to be any death supposed to be happen due to this drug. Whichever drug you are testing, due to the drug, there's no supposed to be major deaths and major side effects supposed to not happen. If not happened anything, if the results are positive, results are good to go, then only they'll move to phase 2. Okay. In a phase 2, they're going to test the drug on a patients. Around 100 to 500 patients, they'll test this drug. Okay. Here, what is the meaning of patients? Okay. Here, understand the meaning of patients is, here the patient is nothing but the people. Okay. The people are we usually call subjects then in a clinical trial language. Going forward, we won't call them as a people or patient subjects we used to call. Okay. Simple. Okay. Now the patient's meaning. We are going to test this drug, right? We are going to test this drug on a people whom we have to consider. For example, this drug we have developed for some X disease. For example, subject has some blood cancer. The subject has some blood cancer. For the blood cancer, this drug they are developed to reduce the blood cancer. Let us see. Now we have to consider the people who are suffering from particular disease. So you develop the drug, one drug to reduce some X disease. Correct? Now those who are suffering from that X disease, we have to consider those people. Not only these people, and also who are suffering from other diseases also. And some healthy people also. Let us assume 100 people you are taking. 100 people, mostly 60 people will take it around who are suffering from the particular disease. Who are some around 20 people will take it who are suffering from other diseases like those who have some BP, sugars, some other any other side effects, some any other diseases also there. We will consider them as well. And also some healthy people. The remaining 20 people, some healthy people. Like this, all these people together only patients. Okay. The majorly those who are suffering from particular disease we will consider. And also we are going to consider those who are suffering from other diseases and healthy people. Okay, like this around 100 to 500 people, we will take them and we'll test the drug and we'll see how it was results. Okay, I told you in the phase 1 majorly they'll check the safety of the people. Yes, in phase 2 also they'll check the safety of the people. But in phase 2, the one more important point is the efficacy of the drug they'll check. Efficacy is nothing but how effectively the drug is working on the patients. The effectiveness of the drug, the mainly they'll check in the phase 2. Yes, the drug is effectively working and is properly working without major side effects, without any major deaths was happened, then successfully they'll go to phase 3. Okay, the phase 3, the sample count, okay, the patients count will increase rapidly. They're going to test around 1,000 to 5,000 people. They'll test that. Okay, around 1,000 to 5,000 people. Okay, here, yes, same way they'll consider the patients. Here, both the safetyness and efficacy of the drug, both the things there. Efficacy of the drug. Okay, so that's it. The phase 3 also, yes, they'll consider the safetyness and efficacy of the drug, the effect to how the drug is effectively working on those patients. Okay, here also, yes, they check if it is goes well in the phase 3, then they'll move to phase 4. Okay, in phase 4 also, they're going to test the drug in large number of scale from 10,000 to on 50,000 people. They're going to test the drug under phase 4. Okay, but in the phase 4, it's not only about just simply a testing of drug. It's also includes the marketing as well. It includes the marketing. Okay, because once the drug came to the phase 4 stage itself, so they'll start doing the marketing. Means what is the price of the drug, how to sell the drug into the market, okay, how to distribute, how much was there. Recently also in the COVID situation also, once the COVID vaccine was developed, what they'll do once the phase 3 done, when the phase 4 started, they started everything, okay. Like for a country, how much doses was required, what is the price of that particular dose, how to distribute that one. So everything is marketing. So along with the phase 4 clinical trials, the site they'll started at a time the marketing part as well. That is phase 4 is not only about a simply of testing of the drug, it also includes the marketing. Okay, the marketing meaning everything. What is the income for them? What is the profit for them? Okay, prices, the distributors. Okay, supply and everything. Etc. Everything comes marketing way. So your phase 4 also includes marketing as well, along with the testing time. Like this, the clinical trial going to happen in 4 phases. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. Okay, clear? Anyone, any doubts?
Just a question.
Yeah.
For the phase 3, are the subjects, the criteria for the subject is the same as phase 2?
Phase 3 and phase 4. Which one is asking?
No, so I'm asking is the criteria for the subjects in phase 3, is it similar to phase 2?
Yes, it's similar to phase two. Same. The meaning of patients, okay, always it will be like this only. They are suffering from particular disease, other diseases, some healthy people.
Okay.
Correct? It will be same every time. Okay, until unless it depends on again, okay, it depends on your study, it depends on your medical company. So it's their approvals, okay. This is the standard procedure has to follow. So
Okay.
this is the ideal one. Whenever we are speaking, we'll speak ideals. Okay. Again, the deviations they'll make it according to their company rules and all. Okay.
Good.
The sample counts also vary from 500 to 500 means they may take 150 people only, 100 people only. Even they have chances of finding because that depends on the risk of that particular drug. Okay.
Okay.
And then everything have rules and regulations. Okay. So now understand. Okay, let's understand the process. Okay. So now we done okay. Clinical trials are done, preclinical trials and clinical trials. Now these medical companies, now once the clinical trials are done, they cannot introduce a drug directly into the market, right? What this medical companies has to do? They has to get an approval, right? To release the drug in the market. Agree? They has to get an approval from the FDA. It is there in US. Food and Drug Administration. Administration. Similarly, in India, we have DCGA. But if you take in a European country, they have EMA, European Medical Agencies. European Medical Agencies. So basically what you have to get an approval from the higher authorities and higher affiliates to release the drug into the market. Okay. Mostly they're submitting to the FDA only because whatever you are working in India or in a US and all, UK and all, most of the projects are US related projects. Okay. So all the companies at the end of the day, they have to get an approval from the FDA. So according to that only, everyone will work. Okay. Now to get an approval, what these companies has to do, their companies has to submit some reports to FDA. Correct? All this clinical, you are doing the clinical trials. All this clinical trial information you have to submit in the form of reports to the FDA. Okay. So this is the process. Now go back some 20 years back, some 22 years back, how the process will be there. Okay. Let us assume there are 4 companies are there. Company A, 4 medical companies. Company A, Company B, Company C, Company B. Okay. Now Company A, they develop their own drug. Drug A, they develop. Similarly, Company B also develop the drug B, drug C, and drug D. Okay. Every company, yes, they develop the drug. They completed the clinical trials. Once the clinical trials are completed, they generated the reports in their own company formats and they'll send to FDA. So company A developed the reports in their own company formats and they submitted to FDA. Now what FDA has to do? FDA has to understand first what is the company A formats, then understand the report, then give the approval. Okay. FDA spent some time, some days, some months, understanding of company A format, then understand the reports. Okay. Now again, company B came. Company B also did the same. They developed some drug B, completed all the clinical trials, they also generated the reports in their own company format. They generated in the company B format. So again reach to FDA. Now again FDA freshly has to understand what is company B format. Understand the company B format, understand the reports, then give the approval. Like this every time. Previously, every company generated the reports in their own company formats and they're reaching to FDA. So they every time has to understand each company's format. So see, format is nothing but very simple, okay? For example, there is sex variable is there. The sex variable information, company A, they are preparing like male and female. Company B, they're preparing like male and female. Male and female. The meaning will be same only. Company C, they are preparing like 0 and 1. 0 represents male, 1 represents female. Company D, they prepared the sex information, the report, 1 and 2. 1 meaning male, 2 is female. Their intention of the meaning will be same, all the 4 companies. But see, the way of representation of report was different. So with this, what was happening? If FDA has to put lot of time, lot of efforts every time to understand the each company's format and has to give an approval. So there is not only 1 or 2 companies there in the market, right? Throughout the world, there are thousands of companies are there in the market. So understanding of every company format and giving an approval, it is challenging and it's taking the time as well. See, usually to develop one drug and to release in the market, usually it will take minimum 2 to 8 years of time it will take. Generally. To develop, complete the clinical trials, to get an approval, to release in the market, minimum 2 to 8 years it will take. So developing, processing only this much time is taking. Again, FDA in that also, FDA also is taking a lot of time to give an approval. By end of the day, there is no use. Someone was developed some good drug also. By the time releasing the drug into the market, some people will pass away. So this one they keep it in mind. So they come up with a solution. Okay, what they did. So they in the 1997. So the CDS organization was formed. So this organization completely funded by the FDA only. Okay. Organizations. What is CDS meaning? Okay. CDS is nothing but clinical data interchange standard consortium. Clinical data interchange standard concept. So this is their organization. It's formed in 1997. FDA only give the funding to this organization. What this organization will do? Okay, this organization set some global standards. Some global standards. Global standards is nothing but it gave some set of rules and regulations. Mainly, it gave some implementation guidelines. Guidelines means implementation guidelines. So if any company has to come to the FDA, they has to prepare the reports, right? Now those reports, okay, they are standardized the reports. Standardizing is nothing but they gave some rules, they gave some guidelines saying that, okay, these reports they have to prepare and these reports should be there in these formats. Like this, some set of guidelines they give. Okay, CDISC is an open source. Okay, it's open source one in their website. So there was mentioned, okay, what report, what guidelines you need to follow. Okay, so we are generating the reports, right? So those reports are divided into three categories, that is SDTM reports, ADAM reports, let us assume theories. To prepare these SDTM reports, okay, what reports you need to prepare, how to prepare. Means in SDTM, what are the domains should be, what are the report they are expecting in SDTM. So they gave an SDTM implementation guide. Currently 3.2, now recently 3.3 also kept. SDTM implementation guide. Study data tabulation model implementation guide. Human clinical records. Okay. See, like this implementation guide is in this implementation guide, so they're going to mention everything. Means what reports they want, how to prepare those reports, what that report, what it contains, what format should be it will be there and all. It will be available in the implementation guide. Similarly, for not only SDTM, for ADAMS also. So ADAM, they prepare some ADAM implementation guide. Currently, 1.1 version is running. CDISC is given analysis data model implementation. Okay. TLFs have implementation, but it has some rules and that's it. Okay. Now what happened? Now CDISC gave these guidelines, okay, gave this some standard guidelines, what reports has to generate and all. Now what going to happen now? After the CDISC regulation formed, what the company will do once they develop the drug aid, so they has to prepare the reports. And now they started preparing the reports in the CDISC formats. CDISC gave the guidelines, right? By following the CDISC guidelines, by following the CDISC format, they prepare the reports and they will reach the FDA. Now, what FDA has to do? FDA has to understand the CDISC format, give an approval. Again, company B is there. Company P this time, they generate the reports in the CDISC format. Now, once FDA reached, FDA already knows the CDISC formats. Then directly check the report, it give approval. Now, company C, company D. Now, every company started following the CDISC regulations, standards. They are preparing, every company preparing the reports in their CDISC format and reached FDA. Now, FDA there's a lot of time was saved, right? Because no need to understand every time the new report. Clear? Yes, by end of this, okay, it will save the time, okay, it will save the time for both the FDAs and for the companies as well. And also it will increase the quality if you once you increase the quality and quantity also. Okay, once everyone's following some standard guidelines, obviously the quality of process will increase, and it is once you save that time, the quantity of the also will increase. If they have, for example, in 2 years, let us assume they are approving 1 or 2 drugs in a previous method. Now they are approving 5 to 6 drugs. So it's a quantity also increased. So like this, yes, it saved the time, it increased the quality and quantity once everyone following the CDISC standards. Okay. Now what is our work as a SAS programmer? So generating report, who is going to generate a report? As a SAS programmer, as a SAS developer, we need to generate a report. How we need to generate a report? By following these CDISC guidelines. These reports we need to follow. We need to generate. Okay. Now, what is the advantage for us also? Think in our SaaS programmer perspective. Now you are working for a company. For example, you are working for a some Cineos. You are working today. You are working in a Cineos. You are working one project. You are generating the reports for that. Tomorrow is after 2 years, you switch the company. For suppose you move to Novartis. Once you move to Novartis, the drug name will change. But the way of whatever you are doing the work, right? The work will be same only because there also they are generating the reports following the same standards, right? So there's a drug name will change. Again, you will do the same reports repeat. You change the company. Again, same work. Same report, same standard, same thing. Clear? That this is the advantage you have as a programmer. When you, whichever company you switch, the work will be same. Once you learn one time your work, simple. Every time it will be same repetition. Okay, clear? That's the advantage for you as a SaaS programmer. Clear? Okay. Any questions up to here? Now understand, right, everyone? What this medical company is doing, how CDs was evolved. Any questions, anyone? Anyone have anything? Archana, Balaji, Ram, Swami. Any questions?
I'm good, Sudesh.
Okay. Well, that's clear. Okay. Fine. We'll see some terminologies and the process. Okay. This is actually a front-end process. Okay. Everyone knows phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, or those stuff. What is the back-end process? Means in the back-end, what are the teams was involved? What are the documentation was involved? Okay. In the back-end, what are the teams was there in the team? In the means once before starting to the clinical trials and before reaching to the FDA, totally how many teams was involved in that total teams, where is our SaaS team is involved, we'll see that flow completely. Okay. And we'll see some terminologies and also some documents also. Okay. Fine. What is the purpose of this clinical trials? Why you are doing the clinical trials? Why? Tell me. Anyone?
To check the efficiency of the particular product or medicine.
Okay, not only efficacy, right? Efficiency is not but efficacy only.
Yeah.
Both to check the safety and efficacy. Safety is important, right? Safety and
Right.
efficacy of that. Efficacy of it. The main purpose of the clinical trial is to check the safety and efficacy of the drug. Okay. See some terminologies. So I was telling medical companies just to get an approval from the FDA. Okay. So going forward, I won't use a terminology called medical companies. I'm going to call them as the sponsors. Okay. Right. On whom we're going to give this clinical trials? On whom will test this drug? On whom will test this drug?
Patients.
Patients. Correct. But going forward, we won't use a terminology called patients. We call them as a subjects. Okay. So remember, we call them as a subjects. Next. Who will give the drug to the subjects? Means patients. Who will give?
Physician,
Hmm?
physician, a doctor,
The doctors. Doctors, any clinical research associates, or anyone, not scientists. But going forward, we call them as investigators. Okay, so this terminology only we are going to use. Investigator is nothing but doctors. Principal investigators is nothing but senior doctors. Okay. Okay. Where these clinical trials will happen?
Hospitals.
medical facilities. Yeah.
Hospitals, but not all the hospitals, right? We call them as a site. Site is nothing but where these clinical trials are happening, those hospitals, not all the hospitals, where the clinical trials are happening, those hospitals we call them as a site. Okay. Next. Okay. Next, the first thing where it will start, first the sponsor will provide the one protocol document. Okay, he'll give this protocol document, it will come to they're going to send to us, our team as well. So first sponsor will prepare the protocol. What this protocol will contain? It contains everything, every information about the clinical trials. Means how many subjects are involved. Okay, from which places they recruited. Okay, let me show you the protocol, one sample protocol. So it looks like this. Okay, so this is one protocol. Okay, see the synopsis. See this protocol, see the title. Okay, a phase 3 double-blinded, placebo-controlled, randomized trial to determine the efficacy and the safety of some 50 mg and 100 mg dose is an add-on therapy in subjects with Alzheimer's disease treated with a stable dose of single dopamine agonist. Okay, don't worry about the terminologies. Going forward in the next classes, I'll give the definitions. Once you understand the definitions, then read this protocol document. It will be very clear for you. Okay, just now, just in a high sense, understand. Okay, what they are meaning here, the title is. So they're going to test a drug. There are two drugs. One is 50 mg and 100 mg tablet. For which disease? For Alzheimer's disease. For Alzheimer's disease, some 50 mg and 100 mg tablet they are testing. Okay. Next, sponsor name. Investigation drug, the drug name. Phase of development. This is third phase. Okay. So they'll give the objectives, primary objective, secondary objective, endpoints, primary endpoints, secondary endpoints. See, mainly trial designs means how this clinical trial was designed. Means how many subjects was involved, See means, see this total clinical trial is happening in 24 weeks. Like this all this information about the clinical trial information they'll give. Okay. About the study design, I'll explain later in the diagram. In detail, we'll discuss later. See, the main here, see, how many trial population, how many subjects was involved? 740 subjects was involved. Okay, next. Eligibility criteria. So this is important for us. See, for example, to participate in the clinical trials, voluntarily 100 subjects came. If 100 subjects will come, all 100 subjects we won't take, right? We will going to screen those subjects. How will screen? Based on the some eligibility criteria. What is this eligibility criteria? So these eligibility criteria are divided into two things. One is inclusion criteria. Second is exclusion criteria. Inclusion criteria means there is some criteria will be there. For example, read this one. Between ages of 30 to 80 years, inclusive at screen. Okay, the subjects whose age is between 30 to 80 years, those only included. If below 20,000, below 30 years, above 80 years, we won't include in this clinical trial process. Like this, some inclusion questions. So if we satisfied these inclusion questions, then only they are going to be included in the clinical trial. Some exclusion questions. See, if a female be a pregnant, means if a female, she's a pregnant, we have to exclude her. Okay, like this, some inclusion and exclusion criteria. Based on that inclusion and exclusion criteria, 100 subjects will come. Let us submit 60 subjects only. We take it. Means remaining 40 subjects are not eligible to participate in the clinical trials. Okay, so these eligibility criteria also it will change from study to study. Study is nothing but again the project. Now you are working for some drug X, you are working. One project you are working. One project is nothing but one study. For each study, these eligibility criteria will change. Now you develop a drug for some Alzheimer's disease, so this is the eligibility criteria. You developed some drug X from some other diseases, so there then the protocol different, the sponsor was different, and the eligibility criteria are different. Okay, this is just a sample I'm showing. Okay, like this, these information are available in the protocol. Just understand, okay? No need to buy heart anything, no need to remember anything. Just to understand what are the things that are available in the protocol. Okay, I'm going to share this sample protocol also to you guys. Just read it once enough. Just to understand what are the things are there. Okay, see some background information about the drug. See how this drug, what are the components are there in the drug. Okay, and about the background information about the disease. What is this disease? What is the meaning of disease? Okay. Summary of preclinical trials. So before clinical, preclinical was happened. So what is the total summary? What happened? And this is a phase 3 trial. Before phase 3, phase 1, phase 2 also happened. What is the summary of that one? Okay. Next. So all this information will be available. Primary objective, secondary objective. Next. See here. Subject will come to hospital, right? He has to come in a specific times only. First of all, when he come for screening, at the time of screening, what test they will do? What information they have to collect? See, they are still in the screening has to be done within the 10 days. Within the 10 days, all this information you have to collect from the subject. Demographic information, medical history information, physical examination test they will do, neurological examination, some test they will do. Again, see, ECG details, vital signs, different tests they will do. Next, at baseline, the next visit, the second visit, In the second visit, what are the tests they asked to do? Schedule of assessments. So vital signs, ECG, hematology, urine test, PK, pharmacodynamics. So all these tests they asked to do. Next, when you come for a third visit, in third visit, what they asked to do? See, in the visit 3 has to happen week 2, visit 7 to happen in week 18. In visit 2 to visit 18, what test they asked to do? Everything they'll mention in the protocol. See, in the visit 8, like this, in every visit, what they asked to do, what test they asked to do, it was clearly mentioned in the protocol document. Okay, so around some 49 pages are there in the document. Listen to this. Everything about the
This-
clinical trials.
This information will be provided by them themselves only, sir.
Yeah. This protocol document, so your sponsor will provide to us.
Okay.
Okay, no need to remember everything, just to go through it, just understanding the process of it. Okay. As a programmer, we are not required all these things. Programming level knowledge is enough. Okay, just for your understanding, okay, just for your knowledge, all these things about the study, about what study you are working, right? For about that particular study, you need an overall idea at least.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
That means it is predefined. The project is predefined, sir.
Yeah, obviously, right? So clinical trials, everything was planned one only.
Okay.
So randomly they won't do, right? So it will be
Okay,
everything
sir.
will be structured. Going forward, you'll understand everything. Okay,
Okay,
what are
sir,
the
okay.
stages will be there? In each stage, what they are going to do also we'll discuss. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So this is the
Okay,
first
sir.
document you will see in the from the sponsor. Okay, it contains everything. Okay, how many subjects are involved in the study? Okay, involved in the study. Okay, how the subjects screened. Okay, how the subjects are screened based on the eligibility criteria. We saw some eligibility criteria. Sir. Eligibility criteria. Criteria. What are the eligibility criteria? Inclusion criteria and exclusion criteria. Okay, and mainly objective. Okay, primary objectives, secondary objectives, primary endpoints, secondary endpoints. Okay, in each visit, what subject has to do? Okay, what are the tests they has to do? In each visit, details about what details means what tests, what information has to collect. Everything was mentioned in the protocol. Clear? So this is the first process. Okay, once the protocol was ready, what they'll do, right? They'll do the first, they'll recruit the subjects. How the subjects will be recruited? How the subjects are recruits based on how the subjects are screened based on the inclusion and exclusion criteria, right? So this is important. Based on the inclusion, these inclusion and exclusion criteria we also require. We'll capture in a programmatical level as well. Okay, so subjects will be recruited. Once the subjects was recruited, similarly investigators also they'll recruit. They'll recruit the investigators. Investigators are nothing but doctors, right? They'll also recruit doctors based on the treatment. So for example, your study was related to the some cancer related oncology study. So oncology cancer specialists will be there, right? So those doctors will recruit. So based on the treatment, we'll recruit the investigators. The sponsor will recruit the subjects, then investigators, then the process will start. Okay. So next, what is the process in the next step? Next, what are the teams was involved in the backend? Before reaching to the FDA, what are the teams was involved? Everything will continue discussing in the next class. Okay. Clear up here?
Clear, sir.
So that's it for today. We'll continue tomorrow. So like this, some theoretical portion will be there next 1 week on that. 1 week, it's minimum 1 week it will take before I start the domains and SDTM. Minimum 3 to 4 classes will be there. So by the time you guys brush up all your base and advanced topics, okay,